Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be reviewing Decepticon Phantomstrike Squadron. Now this is a WFC Siege Netflix edition release, or rather re-release that I was able to pick up of Skywarp and 3 weapon figures. I'm not sure what to call them because they are smaller than core class. I don't have many of them, but it is a neat set because you do get 3 little tiny microbots that do turn into figures, so that's always fun. This is just a small footage of me forgetting the instructions in there. Alright, so we are back to the plastic packaging on them. The instructions are neat. They're not too big for how much there is to do with this set. And I was pretty happy with the size of everything, so that's always fun. Blast effects is always neat. There's always the issue of them eventually wearing out if you keep them in for too long, so that's disappointing, but fun for pictures, which is not what I'm personally here for, but it's still a neat feature to have in this set. So starting off with Skywarp, it is just a retool of the Starscream, which is to be expected. I do much prefer the paint job for this towards the Starscream WFC Cybertron one. He has the usual better than 90-degree angle articulation, which is expected for a Voyager class, but more recently. So this is still fun. This little piece does go out like so into robot mode, which is a slight side note. I think he looks great, and it's a very, very fun and neat figure. Now as for the transformation, you're going to open up the side forearms, bring the hand inside, and then reclose it. Now unfortunately I did notice with just like the Starscream mold, this is a little awkward and it doesn't fully close, but you can just kind of move forward and move on to the transformation. It's just a little annoying. But don't forget to shimmy in the elbow in when you do close it, just like I'm doing right now. Alright, so after the arms have been shortened, in terms of the backpack, you can start dislodging that from the chest piece. You can pull back these little parts, which are the super long parts, and then bring them all the way around to form the nose of the plane. Then there is this little piece on the back of his head, or her head, sorry, that you're going to want to bring all the way down, and normally it does not sit on Skywarp's head anyways. It was just there for the packaging. Afterwards, you're going to want to lift up the chest piece like so, and then rotate the entire lower body, and then you can start closing the flaps for the feet, and then bringing the legs all the way up and bending them onto where that chest piece used to be. And we're pretty much there. It's just a matter of cleaning things up, so you're going to want to bring that backpack down even more, connect the arms to the side of the legs. This one can be a little tricky because the plastic isn't that strong and sturdy, so you do have to kind of hold it together while pressing it in. That's fine. It's nothing too difficult, and you don't even really need to do that because the figure will still look the same. And then after that, you're going to want to work on closing the wings. I am adding the weapons prematurely, though it does make it a little awkward to stand. A normal like plastic stand would be better for this figure. Now you do tab these in like so, and unfortunately for the clearance with my copy, it does not tab in properly. It doesn't want to stay in there. You do want to put the head all the way in and then close that piece for the jets. You do want to have to kind of shove it in, so I do recommend doing that earlier in the steps, maybe before you start rotating the lower body, and you just exactly want to shove it all the way in there, and then it's going to be able to be hidden. And yes, I did redo this transformation a couple times, and the clearance issue with the wings actually being able to stay in place is on my copy. It's not a user issue this time. But this is the jet mode. It's really fun and sleek. I love it a lot, especially with this color scheme. I just wish that my copy was a little bit better, which is becoming a theme with Hasbro, unfortunately. But this is a re-release of a set, so I don't know how deep-rooted this problem is. So here is the first minicon, and then I'll name them all as they come on screen. So the first one that we had was Fracas, which is the gray and gray one, and then Shroot is the one that's on screen right now, and then the last one is Pterodactyl, which is a super funny and silly name. As for their transformations, the two humanoid ones do turn into guns, which is just a matter of bending the feet all the way upwards in either the front or the back to go onto the backpack, and then tabbing the arms into the feet. Nothing too complicated, and it's neat because they do kind of look like some Cybertronian guns, so I'm all for it, and they're pretty neat. And it's always nice that they're able to be held by any other character. This guy comes with the blue effects officially, and it is neat and fun. No complaints there. Pterodactyl is a little bit more complicated and underwhelming, but I am still very happy about the concept. So Pterodactyl right here, and he has the feet that I didn't put up in this portion of the video. And then transformation to an axe is pretty simple, though my copy is a little slanted and it's harder to put the axe symmetrical. As for the effects, it does go on the side of the axe, like the side that would be hitting the target, which would make sense. It has its own little pins, and then boom, it's as if you're hitting something. Very, very neat effect. I really like that one. And for the last one, same concept as the other guy. You bring up the backpack and then you bend the legs in a certain direction. This guy is towards the front, like so, and then arms right into the sides. And then he comes with the last blaster effects, which kind of remind me of a flamethrower. So neat, not based off of the picture in the background, but it's still neat. As for turning Skywarp back to robot mode so that they can hold all the weapons, you're going to want to start disassembling the wings, bring up the backpack, unpinning the arms, and then you can start fully bringing the legs down as well. Don't forget that 180-degree rotation, and then to fold out the feet. And then it's a matter of fixing the arms, so opening, and then taking out the elbow, and then bringing the hand all the way forward. On my copy, it was very loose and actually fell out, but I was able to snap that back in after a little bit of time, and then it worked perfectly fine. Up to date. That is a thing to worry about, unfortunately, with these figures, but most of the time it is just a snap back in, which I do appreciate from Hasbro. And the articulation does live up to it, and it makes it feel good. Alright, then now we're going to bring down the chest piece, which will automatically bring up the head. And don't forget to bring this little silver piece down, which unfortunately doesn't really do much. Then you can open up this front piece here of the nose, which absolutely sucks on this mold on every single version I've had so far. And then once you're able to unpin them from each other, you're able to sort of shimmy the backpack down, put those two front pieces attached to the back piece, and that will lock everything into place properly. It is just a matter of shimmying it. And then this is Skywarp. Very fun figure. Don't forget the shoulder blasters, and they're neat. And here is Skywarp with the accessories. Now, my overall thoughts is I think this is a very neat set, but it is 47 Canadian, 99 figure with 3 of these microbots as weapons. Was it worth 130 Canadian roughly? No, I am not happy with that part. However, it's too late now. Like, I have it. I'm happy with the overall product. I'm just gonna probably not do things like this moving forward. Price isn't really getting worth it, but it is still a solid set. Without price factored in, I would say this is like 8.5 out of 10. The weapon guys are super fun. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Here's pictures, and yeah, have a great day. Bye bye.